Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Better late than never, I hope. Hey, man, let's get right to it. First of all, I just want to ask you about the challenge of coaching two teams. Coach Hill's the Northridge soccer coach for both the boys and the girls. And, of course, both are playing in the state semifinals. More on that in a moment. But first, just the challenge of coaching not one team, but two teams at the same time.
Well, you have to balance. Obviously, boys and girls have very different temperaments. So that is one of the challenges that you have to balance. The other actually is, although I am the head varsity coach for the boys and the girls, we also have three other programs. We have the JV girls, the JV boys, and the freshman boys that basically I'm the facilitator of for those three teams also. So you've got over 100 players for Northridge soccer sharing two fields, a practice field and a match field. And it just takes a lot of organization. I have a very, very good staff that they're able to help me. And then with the boys and the girls with the varsity, tend to alternate the practices each day. That way that I don't feel like that I'm giving too much to either team with the varsity boys or the varsity girls, and just try to keep it equitable and work on the things we need to do to be successful.
Right. Well, it's one thing to coach two teams. It's another thing to have both of those teams in the Class 6A semifinals. Remarkable. Tomorrow morning, you've got the girls going at 9 a.m. versus Northview out of Dothan. Your girls' team is ranked third in the state. Then you turn around and immediately, regardless of what happens in that game, you've got just a couple of minutes, and then you've got the boys' team taking on Daphne in the Class 6A semifinals at 11 a.m. So congratulations, first of all, on the great success, but tomorrow is going to be a heck of a day for Northridge soccer. A great day.
Yes, it will be a great day, and it will be very, very hectic, but honestly, depending upon the results, and it will be easier almost than last Tuesday or last Saturday when on Tuesday one match was at Tuscaloosa at 4 in the afternoon, and then I had to travel quickly to Walker County to play to get into Jasper. And then on Saturday I was in Pell City at 10 o'clock for the girls' match, and then had to come back to Tuscaloosa for 2 o'clock, so it made it very, very busy days. Tomorrow will be a little bit easier.
Yeah, piece of cake tomorrow.
I just have to turn around. That basically is it. I go from one field to the other field. Hopefully things will work very, very well with the girls, where I'll be in a great mind frame as we go into the boys' match. If not, though, it's one of those things where you have to turn that off, reset, restart, and go from there. But I can't say enough about how proud I am of all of these young men and young women to do as well as they have done. It's just a great testament to the program. They do all the work. All I do is yell a little bit, talk to them a little bit, motivate them a little bit. The boys and the girls are the ones that actually have to play the match. So I'm just very, very proud of both of them.
I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't even think about it. I was so focused on what's ahead for you that I didn't think about this. In the playoffs, you're having to coach two different teams at two different locations. Unbelievable. Thank goodness you were able to do it. I know you don't do it by yourself. I know that's a challenge, but obviously you have great support from the parents and the school system and your staff. As you said, it takes a lot of organization. So even though you're heading up both these teams, the boys and the girls, you've got a great support system there at Northridge High School. I know that.
Definitely. I mean, the parents have been very, very supportive. 5 years ago when I first came to Northridge, Dr. Espy, who was the principal at the time, he said, well, we expect you to do both. And I told him I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what I wanted to do, and just be in charge of the whole program and try to build it as much as we could. And it has taken 5 years. Last year the girls got to the Final Four as well. We came up a little short in that semifinal match, but basically, and I hate to use a Coach Saban term, but it is definitely a process. And anybody who's been in coaching and has tried to build something, and honestly, I just rebuilt what had already been there in the past, because Northridge had been a very, very good soccer school, had fallen off a little bit, And with the help of the administration, the present administration we have now, our parents who have been very, very supportive, and all of my coaching staff, it has been a great, great run this year and the past 5 years. And, we're not over yet. We'll take it hopefully to a whole another level tomorrow.
Carter Hill, the varsity soccer coach for the boys and girls teams at Northridge High School, is our guest here on the Bud Light Hotline on the Gary Harris Show on Tide 99.1. His teams are playing in the Class 6A semifinals tomorrow at John Hunt Park in Huntsville. The girls in Class 6A are taking on Northview at 9 a.m., and then the boys in Class 6A taking on Daphne at 11 a.m. Let's talk about your individual games tomorrow. First, your girls are very strong, 20-4 on the season. Northview 14-5-3, 9 a.m. semifinal. You're ranked third in the state. They're unranked. What's that matchup look like for your club?
Well, we actually got the opportunity to play Northview earlier on in the year. We played them at the Capital City Classic in Montgomery. It was the final match, and because it was the final match, the match actually ended in a 0-0 tie, and then we had to go to PKs, and we were fortunate enough, their overtime procedure was to play kicks from the mark, 5 PKs, whoever gets the most. We were fortunate enough to win and won that tournament. So we have seen Northview before, which is good and also which is bad. They're going to be a different team. This was at the beginning of the year. This was February 14th or 15th. Now we're May 12th, May 13th. So they'll definitely be a different team. They've got a couple of fast young ladies up top. Our philosophy with the girls is we just have to take care of ourselves. Our philosophy at Northridge Soccer with the boys and the girls, we can control our attitudes and we can control our work rates. And if we control both of those things, we should do very, very well tomorrow. At least we hope so.
Then in the boys' game, you're taking on Daphne, ranked 10th in the state. Talk about the matchup against the Trojans and what your club, I'm going to go ahead and say this on paper, probably the underdog Northridge is. I know you don't feel that way. What do you need to do to get a victory against Daphne?
Well, Daphne is going to be very, very physical. They always have been. They have a new coaching staff this year. Previously, it was a gentleman by the name of Rick Andrew. He has coached these boys for about 3 years. And then their present coach now, Coach Williams, and actually a university coach as well. They're going to be very, very physical. They're going to be very, very technical. It's going to be a very, very big challenge for us. And basically we're just going to have to try to match their intensity and try to put a couple in the back of the net. If you're going on paper, as you said, we may be the underdog, but we were the underdog on Saturday also, and we came out and won 2-1, and a testament for the kids to hang in there and do what we needed to do to win a match that not a lot of people thought that we would probably win against Benjamin Russell. So we've got to bring the same amount of energy and the same amount of physicality that Daphne does.
They don't play the games on paper. They play them on grass, don't they, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank goodness, because on paper, who knows what would happen.
The other semifinals tomorrow in the girls, number 1, John Carroll taking on number 4, Decatur, and in the boys, 7th-ranked Pelham taking on number 1, Coleman. That, as I said, all those games being played in Huntsville at John Hunt Park. Okay, big send-off for you today. Around you're going to be leaving around 1 o'clock to go to Huntsville. I think right around 12:45, 12:50. You're going to have a big send-off there at Northridge High School. I know everybody's excited about that.
We're very, very excited. It's just an awesome experience. As you said, it was great to have the girls in it last year in the Final Four, but this year it's just super exciting that we have both teams, and the school's going to come out, cheer for us a little bit. I think the band may be out. The cheerleaders will be dressed up. We're used to that with football teams, not normally for soccer programs. So we're just excited to get ready to go, have a little fun. Everything from here on out, 2 teams in the Final Four, it's icing on the cake. Run's not over. We're going to do everything we can do to bring a couple of state maps to Tuscaloosa. We'll just see how we do.
Outstanding. And I also want to mention that Holy Spirit is playing today in the Class 1A to 3A girls semifinals against Montgomery Academy. And a couple of the girls on your team, interestingly enough, their sister plays for Holy Spirit. I'm correct with that, right?
Yes. Catherine Spence, our keeper, has two sisters, Laura and Lena, who both play for Holy Spirit. One is an 8th grader and one is a 10th grader. I actually allowed Kat, because she's tight with her siblings, obviously. She's actually already up in Huntsville where she can watch her sisters play. And, I think it's a testament to West Alabama soccer to have 3 teams actually in the Final Four. And hopefully, if Holy Spirit can have a good result today, we can have a good result tomorrow morning, then we may go and be able to go and watch Holy Spirit play in the final Friday night.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
It would be fantastic, and just like I said, good luck to Holy Spirit. I think they kick off maybe in the next 45 minutes or so.
Indeed they do, 11:30 a.m. against Montgomery Academy. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck to you. Congratulations on what's already been a great run. Hopefully you'll finish it off. We'll have our television crew from WVUA 23 out there today in a couple hours as you get ready to go to Huntsville. And just thanks for the time. Good luck to you.
Hey, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you focusing on us and focusing on the story, and thank you for promoting soccer in West Alabama. Thank you so much, Mr. Harris.
Absolutely. Carter Hill, head coach of the Northridge boys and girls soccer teams.